Hey guys, welcome. I'm Tracy. This is my channel, Tracy from the Mermaid Cove. I hope y'all are doing well. Welcome. It is Thursday. My cleaners are coming, so I just did a little pickup triage. I'm very lucky. And I've had the same woman, it's her business for a long time. She even came to my mom's celebration of life. So yeah, she's a great person. And yeah, so I mean, you know, I'm making some progress. I'm going to have some stuff to go through with y'all to let go of. I want to get that kind of train rolling again. I have it just sort of piled up right now because sometimes it's the lighting's bad or I can't find my microphone. Just a bunch of stuff. So yesterday I had to get back to the library I was working at and help them out for a meeting. It was so much fun to see everyone, and I saw some patrons, one of my good patron friends who's a friend now, and she brought me some casseroles she made, which is delicious. I love y'all when people give me casseroles. And I saw another person who I had something for Christmas. So yeah, it was an interesting day. But so I'm gonna do what I got fun at Walmart, but I'm gonna just do this separately, I think. So I just wanted to share some thoughts with y'all. So long story short, 40 years ago, there was a lot of drama, commotion from my parents and some bad decisions my father made and brought bad people or people with bad actions into my life, my mom's life. So, and it's interesting because my parents got divorced quickly and my dad remarried and then he died quickly after that. So that's but basically the person had my college money, which I did not get, that my mom had saved. So long story short. But anyway, somebody reached out to my brother, and you know, you can't find me really. I mean, obviously you stumble on me, but people are like looking for me, maybe for high school, that really can't find me because I'm not interested. I'm not. And anyway, you know, my brother being my brother anyway, gave my information. And you know, it really triggered something in me because there was a point, I'm going to say about my mom and I moved across the country. Yeah, to Arizona, which ended up being a wonderful thing. But it's about, like, my first reaction, I was actually a little numb, right? Because that's the grief process I'm in with Angela. And when something really exciting or traumatic, there's just a veil, right? That it does not get through, which I am very much looking forward to that dissipating more, and it will with time. And at first I was upset because this is like the boogeyman, right? But I can remember one time telling this story and hearing it in my head, and I told my mother, we're never telling this story again. This is not where I'm being stuck. This is not, I mean, you know, I went into very intense therapy to learn to forgive my father, understand my father. It really wasn't about this person, it was about my father and the choices he made and what he brought into my life. And I can remember I had a male therapist who's amazing, and he still checks in on me or wishes me happy birthday or Merry Christmas. It's a weird, but you know, he said to me, my father didn't do his job. I said, what's his job? To teach me how to trust men. Like, not perfect men, but real live men who make mistakes, who have their own issues, but he said he did. And you know, my dad died when I was 17, so we had a shortened time, which also heightened everything, right? So much unsolved, undone, you know, I was very much, I'd had hard things happen, but there's still an innocence to me. And I don't know, you know, it's interesting. I was definitely bigger than everyone my age, but you look back and I was just voluptuous, right? I wasn't fat. I wasn't anything. It was just, my body looked like I was 25 when I was like 13. And so that brought a lot of trauma, and but anyway, I can remember once telling this story and thinking, I wouldn't read this book. I would not watch this movie. And I told Mom, we're done. And I continued to work on my relationship with my father. And I can tell you, we've healed so much. In the last couple of days, I have felt my mom and dad around me. And before my brother called me, the signs were everywhere. I can't even explain to you. There's numbers, there's initials, there's things my dad sends me, and ones my mom sends me, and they were everywhere. So here my brother tells me now I have to literally walk in to see all these people I hadn't seen, all this emotion, and did not have time to even call a friend. Now, even my best friend Beverly really didn't know this story because I did stop. I told my mom, we're done. I don't even want to, I'm not going to get stuck. I'm not going to give one more second of my life to this situation and this person who, So I, at first I was a little bit, my brother and I have had a discussion about I don't want to be found. So collect information and say you'll give it to me and I can do what I want. I'm just not interested in that in general, right? He'll be like, oh, somebody from high school. I'm like, okay, I don't care. The time in my life was not the best time in my life. I'm just not interested in going back. I have like one or two friends I really would like to connect with, but I can't find them, and I respect that. There's a reason. So I'm okay with that. And I just send them light and love and gratitude for our friendship at the time. So, and I thought, how am I going to have to process this, you guys? I can't not deal with it, right? And a little bit of the feelings that came up were, if I were worthy of love and protection and support, my dad would have done that. So the fact that my dad didn't must mean I'm not worthy of it, right? I mean, that's the deep primitive feeling we feel, especially when you're young. And there's such trauma. I can't even describe to you guys even our pastor turned out to be a creep. Can you imagine? I mean, honestly, it's crazy. And I just thought I'd share with y'all, But what's interesting is, I came home, I did some, journaling, and I did some, and I thought the boogeyman doesn't exist anymore. Like, the closet's open. It's this person who I never need to speak to again unless she'd like to write me a check from college money. I would accept that. You can write it to my brother and send it to him. Because it was really terrible. I mean, we're talking, if you read a book, you'd be like, this didn't happen. So, but what's so interesting in all this, and I know that's not the truth. I know my dad loved me probably more than any person on this planet. Maybe even more than my brother, right? I mean, a dad and a father's dad and a guy, it's just, but I know he loved both of us, right? And we just had a different relationship because my brother's 8 years older. I was 17. My brother was 25. He was, college, figuring out his own life. It's just a different thing. And my dad was, he could be very judgmental, and he had a lot of issues, to say the least. He didn't have his own father. He had a much older brother. Oh my God, even his brother and sister can't stand this person either. Anyway, maybe one day I'll a little snippet about the scene at my dad's viewing, but hey. But what? I'm just like, that's bullshit. My father loved me. He did the best he could under the circumstances, and he's helping me now. And it's really, there's a little bit there, tiny bit of decay, which now is gone. So it's interesting how, and I was even thinking about being sent to this new library, how upset I was, but it ended up, I just really like it there, and it has been really good for me, and it's just a different vibe, a different experience, so you just don't know, right? And but yeah, so I just think about that, I just had put it, and I listen, it's all about my father, right? And that's about whatever the circumstances and whatever happened. But I just want to share that with y'all. Sometimes, it's not like I didn't explore that. I did in therapy in a safe environment. I just stopped telling, I didn't want it to be my story. I didn't want to be like, yeah, this terrible happened. I just was like, you know what? Like I said, my friend was surprised. I just ended it. And I told my mother, listening to this, I said, I don't know what this is about, but this is not about me and not about my life and who I am and who my mother was as a person. What brings me to is, and I think this is part of the issue. So my parents were divorced. My dad remarried. Now, I'm just used to calling her SM, step monster, had the right to be buried with my father, which really had upset me. And that's one thing that's really kind of iggled at me a little bit. But she's remarried and she's lost the right to be buried with my father. And somebody said to me, I didn't think my mother had the right. But somebody at work was like, your mom could be buried there because she did not remarry. And my mom spent 22 years with my father in the Air Force. And my mom moved and took care of the house when my mom had a career in the Air Force, just unpaid. So my brother, I told I want that. I want what the last of the remains we have of my mom. I want them buried officially with my dad. And whatever the marker is, we're going to move forward. So isn't that interesting? And this person brought that up, and then I had a vision, or in my dream, I could see it, like done. And so, I feel that's what my parents are guiding me towards, and I think because my dad was buried in 1982, I never went back, never have been there. And I think it was because I thought this person, could be buried there. And I really, that was a hard thing for me. Of course, I worked on that in therapy. But the fact that now my mom can be honored there, that feels right. It feels important. And so, yeah, I texted my brother. I'm like, hey, figure this out. And I'm going to talk to my friend who said she could help us. So, just going to I'm not in a rush. Not in a rush. I have no idea how it works. I know I probably need a bunch of paperwork, but I'm pretty sure I have their marriage certificate, my dad's death certificate, my mom's death certificate, their divorce decree. I don't know how I prove my mom didn't get married. I guess they do their due diligence on that part. So I'm not sure what else I would need. But yeah. And I love that the second time I go will be because my mother's being honored. That, y'all, so you don't know. Right? You just don't know. And there's such a relief. There's such a, okay, yeah, I'm not that 17-year-old, I'm not. Or that 11-year-old, or all of that, So I just wanted to share it with you. We do get, there's still a little bit of the boogeyman. But you look under the bed and some old stuffed animal torn up by a dog, right? It's nothing. But you saw, even as a kid, y'all, I'm sure I've told this before, but when I babysat, and this is literally just down the literal same street, like 5 houses down across the street, I was babysitting, and it had snowed, and I thought when I got there, I had seen no footprints in the snow, but there were footprints, and I'm pretty sure I heard something in the basement, and I saw a shadow. And one of the kids was special needs and very demanding, but I lost it. Now, I happened to be reading Mary Higgins Clark, Where Are the Children? I called the police, y'all, back there, and how old would I have been? It would have been 65, 75, maybe 78. The cops came when a girl called hysterical, someone's in the house, and I've got the children. Anyway, the second call they made, which my father, they called my father, so here's, my father comes down, literally. And actually, I think he might have been living in his apartment at that time and had to come from there, but he, there was a big powwow between my parents and me, and it was either you stop reading these books, watching these movies. Y'all, I was at that age, I'm thick into the horror and the Stephen King and all that kind of drama. I always read what the people I babysat for had, basically. And he's like, either you stop that and you continue to babysit, or you quit babysitting, because he goes, I don't need to come with you at night and babysit, because I was always get scared in a strange house. And if y'all have never seen the movie, and I blame my brother a little bit, the movie Bad Ronald, during that time, y'all, Google it. It's still, I could, listen, this kid who does something bad, and his mom holds him up in the wall and feeds him and takes care of him. He has this whole little setup, and she dies. What happens next when young girls in the family move in? You guys, I definitely am susceptible to stuff, and now I know I just don't read it. I don't look at it. When I do, like this Idaho 4 I got snagged into, and I was closing my blinds at night, y'all. So it's important to me what I realized too that was not helping my present situation. So I've been, listening to different things, watching different things, either art things or about Buddhism or meditation or, that kind of stuff. So, but my dad, I still remember my dad. Yeah. So, But yeah, I just thought I'd share that with y'all. I know sometimes you just have these things and, maybe kind of taking them out and spending a little time with them, and you realize they just don't have any power. They haven't really ever for a long time. And, I know too, my dad and my mom help me so much now in a way they couldn't on this planet. So that's amazing. And, but it's hard for me, or it's a challenge, I should say, to lean into that and truly let that flood me, but I'm working on it. So when my brain goes, oh, but yet, I'm like, no, I just want to lean back, to God. And I really do believe we have angels, we have, ancestors, we have this whole, we would be amazed at the support we have and the love and guidance. So, so I just thought I'd share that. And I'm excited about this process with my mother. And I think it's important to my parents. So, yeah, it's just it's a good feeling, and it's what needs to happen. So I'm going to be working on that. And yeah, so I just thought I'd check in. It's Thursday. I'm off tomorrow. My plan is not to leave my house unless I run up to the food bank with stuff. But I'm gonna do some art. I want to work on my sewing machine, you guys. I want to start figuring that out and move forward on some of my Valentine's stuff. I'm still, y'all, gonna be Valentine's for quite a while. I'm more of a Valentine's person than an Easter person, but spring is fun. So yeah, so that's what's gonna happen. And so, but it is interesting that you can choose not to tell a story anymore, especially if you feel like a victim in it. Something was done to you. But, when you move out of that victim kind of thing with internally, it makes I think, honestly, at that time when we stopped, both my mother and I, telling these stories, it changed. Life became different. Life became better. It became lighter. Not that we didn't have struggles, because we did. My mom, y'all, was a handful. You guys, a handful. But, and we have had some issues, trust me. But it just changed. So just throw that out there. Think about are we dragging baggage is not ours? The point of it all was to work with my relationship with my dad, and I've done that, and I continue to do it. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with y'all. And I hope you guys have a lovely day. It's a little overcast. I'm ready for some 30, 40 degree weather. This is weird. It was close to 70 yesterday. It was hot everywhere. I just love living. I love living here in Maryland, and I love the 4 seasons, y'all. I just love it. But I don't feel like we're getting them anymore. I tell you what, though, when it starts snowing in August or July, then we know, right? Something really crazy is going on. But okay, you guys take care, and I'm going to be back with some interesting things, fun things I got at Walmart. And yeah, see you then.